with the Dave Harris. Could have done with a done.
Don't dare ref. She got the ball.
A lovely picture.
Hold me closer, Kevin Danso. Our high line's even higher. Come on.
Bring it, Dave. Bring it in.
We're finally looks like we're about to make our first signing or second signing of the January transfer window. First outfield player. Shame it's took this long, but look, it looks like we're about to get a centre back over the line, which we're going to talk about. We're also going to talk about the Leyton Orient manager having a dig at Ange Postecoglou yesterday in his post-match press conference, which I'm not happy about. And then we're going to get in and talk about all great things about today's game. Let's go around the panel, find out how everybody is. Drew, how are you, my man?
Oh, fantastic. I don't know if it's too little too late. I don't know if it's a shrewd move, saving 5 million for the sake of 9 points, but let's go.
5 million for 9 points. When you put it like that, but such a downer on it, man. Such a downer on it. Dermot, how are you this morning, my man?
I don't know what I've walked into. I don't know if I'm still dreaming. Is this a nightmare? We've bought somebody. Wow. Wow, I can't believe it. See, Dave's singing. Dave should be on, I don't know, I'm a Celebrity next year for singing.
Ask singer.
Drew, yeah.
I think we should probably be on the gagged singer. I don't know about the masked singer.
Drew should be going into the jungle next January. You know, seeing they're eating kangaroos' balls or something like that. It might be good at that. You know, might win the whole thing.
You're worried what's on your mind earlier on in the morning, there, Mo. It's a bit worrying, lad.
And Tottenham buy a player. What a way to wake up. It's brilliant. But yeah, thanks for having me here again, Dave. It's another glorious day in Tottenham Voodoo land. And what masters will we see today? A Tottenham win and us buying another player. Bring in Evan Ferguson. Listen to the Keno. He knows what he's talking about.
Look, let's wait and see what happens. Anyway, deadline day is tomorrow, so let's see if we can get anyone else in the door. Let's welcome some people in, and then we will crack on everything you need to know, and we'll get straight into the Kevin Danso thoughts. We've got Terry Betts. Good morning, Spurs fans all over the world. Nans in and Brentford 2, Spurs 3. Happy Sunday. Big up, my man. Good evening. Good to see you as well. We also have Milton in the house. Am I the only Spurs fan that wants us relegated? I think so. Cap and Pants says, don't think Levy would sell if we got relegated. Ribsy says, hopefully we bother to show up for this one. Come on, you Spurs. Bit nervous. We don't do well off the back of European games, my man. Drew saying hello to everybody in the chat. We have Trinidad. Happy Sunday, y'all. At least the signing for some cover. Jack, come on, you Spurs. Well, actually, credit to Jack. You know, late last night, got on it, put the scout report out, and it's absolutely banged. So fair play to him on that one. Spurs Psycho says, morning, folks. Come on, you effing Spurs. Good to see you, Niall O'Connor. Big up, panel of Spurs fans. Cannot wait for the upcoming game. Come on, you Spurs. We also got Darren Johnson in the house. Big up, Darren. Morning, Drew. Just ignore me and Darmo. Thank you very much for that, Darren. Must have pissed him off. What did you do to him, Darmo? We've got Wembley 1 in the house. Morning, everyone. I take a point right now. Great to see you, Wembley 1. Look, a point wouldn't be a bad result, but with yesterday's with Wolves winning and then Southampton winning, we could definitely do with picking up 3 points. Legend 27 says 3 points incoming. I really do hope so. Who else have we got here? We've got Nicholas Harrison in the house. Hope Mickey starts today. I think he will. We've got K32. Hello, Dave, Jack, and everyone. Hope for everyone is doing well. We are all well and truly in the relegation battle now. Hopefully, today's result helps us. Helps our cause. Come on, you Spurs. Well, I really do hope so. No one wants to be in this relegation battle. It's not by choice, K32, that's for sure. Hopefully, we can't get out of it, though. We've got Adam D in the house. I'd be lying if I said I was confident. Heart says we will win today and go through in the cup. Head says 2 defeats in a week incoming. Sorry to be a downer. Look, it's a big week. We can win today, beat Liverpool, beat Aston Villa. All of a sudden, momentum shift completely. Big week for Ange Postecoglou and Tottenham Hotspur. Shemtam, morning, sleepy time. Jack, Dave, Drew, Dermo, Donovan, and anyone else that's joined the illustrious panel. Hope all are well. Big up, Shemtam. Good to see you. Dermo saying hi to people in the chat. We've also got Nick Carey in the house. Morning, all worried again today, but that feeling is becoming more normal. Too many negatives towards new signings. Whatever you feel about the Bordeaux manager, get behind the guy. He wanted us. Come on, you Spurs. Well, that's actually a fair point. You know, he chose to come here where others haven't. Look, let's wait and see how he gets on there. Nick, fully agreed there, my man. Just a harmless potato. Great to see you. Good morning, Donovan Oosterreicher. I sent you the link. Are you coming on? Let me know, my man. Big up, Donovan. We've got Leo Starman Recordings. Come on, you Spurs. Good to see you. JBCLE. Luka Donic is later. We have Dark Sung G. Come on, you Spurs. Let's finally win at Breeze Home and Danso signs. No, at Dark Sung G. The last our 3 visits to the G-Tech since it's been built has all ended in draws. So we could really do with getting over the line today, getting a result, getting the 3 points, especially with some of the teams around the relegation zone picking up points. The pressure really well and truly is on. Big up, my man. Good to see you in the house. We have Scarecrow. I'm only worried when I'm not nervous about a game these days. Anxious going into this one, but we have a team that can. Look, let's wait and see what happens today. Definitely not beyond the realms of impossibility to pick up a result. Paul 1, 2, 3, 4 turned into Mickey Mouse Club. Can't attract quality players. Very decent player. Turn Nuggets down. And wow, we hijack Wolves. Fair point, Paul. Fair point. Big up, Reese, as well. Great to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. Dino Studios says, I personally think we are going to win this one and maybe the road to 7th or 8th. Look, I take that. That's for sure. Big up, Dan. Good to see you, my man. Missed you on Pro Clubs last night. Hopefully you're keeping well. Got Ribsy in the house. Where's the Orient prick? Get off going after Ange. Mate, our kids are doing all your work for you. What a douche canoe. We're definitely going to have a conversation about that because that really irked me. It's just a sign of disrespect, to be quite frank. But big up, Ribsy. Good to see you, my man. We've also got Thomas. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. I've got to say that I think we can win today 2-1. Come on, you Spurs. Great to see you, Thomas. We've got Brecken. Big up, Dave, Drew, Dermo. Hope you're all well. I don't know why, but I have a gut feeling that we'll get a win today. I can only hope that my gut is right. Well, big up, Brecken. I think many other Spurs fans are praying that your gut is right today as well. Good to see you. We also have Neil Shafton. at least he counts as homegrown. That is a fair point. He does count as
I
homegrown.
don't think he does, guys. I don't think he does.
No, did
You
he
have
not
to
come
have
from
been.
the MK Dons Academy? So he counts as like English.
You have to have been. You have to have been playing for an English team for 3 years, and he was only with Southampton from 19 to 20.
Okay.
So I don't.
He was
I
with MK
genuinely.
Dons before that, though, wasn't he?
He was MK Dons for 1 year, and then he went to Augsburg from 14 to 16, and then he was at Southampton from 19 to 20.
Fair.
I think you have to have been for a 3-year block, so I don't think he does, even though he was born in Milton Keynes. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I don't think he does.
Well, we'll do the digging on that. Drew's a great researcher, as we found out last week, guys.
Well, I don't know about that.
Alex Ferrin in the house. Keeney and Donny should be loaned to Luton or Charlton to show him who is making his team look good. To Bob Full. We've got Mako Edits, murder on the Danso floor. The Spurs are in the mood. Danso, that's not a bad one. I don't mind that. Big up Materio. One player in whom I bet won and then injured for 6 months. I hope not. Phil Coys, we are winning today, Spurs fans. Come on, you Spurs. J Mac says, big up David Lad, Drew and Dermo. Triple D, come on, you Spurs. Good to see you, lad. It's my face. Danso does look decent, but I need to see him play for us before I hype or judge. Absolutely fair point. Big up, absolute bore. Great to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. And we also got Giant 68 in the house. Ferguson going to West Ham on loan. Good to see you. We have Eddie Zella in the house. Ange does not understand the difference between changing and adapting. That is his major downfall. Make sure we're not missing anyone. I said big up Neil Shafton. Good to see you dragging these nuts. Great to see you as well. We are Spurs TV. As always, good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. Big up, Olatron. Good to see you, my man. Big up for us this week. Look, it's a huge week, Ollie. Huge week for Tottenham. Hopefully we can gather some momentum this week and reignite our season. Big up, Lee, as well. Good to see you. We've got infamous Kadink 94 in the house. Good to see you. Limpy Down Under. Jack Bloom, great to see you as well. Hopefully you're keeping well. Lee Moody, Luke Thompson, as always, good to see you. Surf Soud, great to see you. Greetings from Sweden. Big up Dave and everyone else. Let's hope for a win today. Come on, you Spurs. Prod Boy, As the Kid, good to see you. Along with Stevie Hayes as well. Great to see you. Jay Mead as well. Hopefully you're keeping well, my man. We also have Josh James in the house. Hopefully you're keeping well. Finn as well. Good to see you. If I've missed anyone, I do apologize. I'm trying to get to the bottom of the chat as quick as possible. Big up Ed M as well. Great to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. And how could I forget J Mac as well? Good to see you, brother. But look, guys, let's get into it. We'll go around the house. Big up Alex as well. And also Kate Rickham and Ange Ball. Good to see all of you guys and girls in the house. But as you can see her here, per Fabrizio Romano, official confirmed Tottenham signed Kevin Danso on a 25 million package deal from RC Lens and contract until June 2030. Hijack completed as he was close to joining Wolves. So everybody out there watching, get your thoughts in the chat as we go along and speak about this on the Kevin Danso signing. We'll start with you, Drew. Let's get your thoughts on it, my man, and then we'll go around the house.
I have to admit, I didn't know who he was. I had to do the obligatory Danny Rose Google search. But that being said, when I did, I was pleasantly surprised. And then having read up on him and having read some stuff that other people have mentioned, I mean, in a perfect world, he'd be left-footed. But he seems to have a lot of pace. He can ping a ball across the line into the last third of the pitch. Seemed to be really strong in the tackle from what I could see. So yeah, Wembley, I'll take that. If he's better than Kevin Wimmer, I'll take it.
So you're happy with the signing then, Drew?
I'm not unhappy. I mean, we definitely need bodies. Is it one of those? I mean, I've been saying that we need experience and we need somebody that's kind of been there and done it. Is this him? No, but he's joined now, so he's a Tottenham player, and I shall back him until he's not a Tottenham player.
Fair. Dermo, where are you at with the signing? You happy that we finally got one over the line? You angry that it's took so long to get here?
I'm just pissed off it's taken so long to get here. We're a day before the end of the window, and we hijacked a Wolves signing. Wowee. I mean, let's all go out and celebrate. Do you know? Look, he's a Spurs player. I'll support him. He looks good. He looks good in the tackle. He looks good. He's good with coming out with the ball as well. Hasn't got the agility of Mickey van der Ven, but because of his bulk, but he's very good on the ball. He's a ball carrying centre back, which is what we need. But really, it's taken us this long to get a player in. I'd love to know what they're doing that recruitment office with Daniel Levy and Lang and Scott Munn. I really would love to know. I would love to know what they're doing there.
How much of it comes down to, the player wanted to join Tottenham? Here, see what he says. I think the only thing you can do when you hear Tottenham are interested in you is say, yes, it's an amazing project to be part of, and I'm happy to be here. You look at other players that we've pursued; they've all turned us down. They haven't wanted to come there, Mo.
I'm delighted he wants to come, and that's half the battle. If a player wants to come to you, then brilliant. I want them here. Then I don't want them other players that didn't want to come. They're not fit to wear a shirt.
Yeah.
But I'm just annoyed it's taken us this long, Dave. I'm just really. I just did. The point is, I'm glad we've got him, but why is it always every window, summer or winter, we have to wait to a day or deadline day to buy a bloody player? I mean, what did they do? Any other club has the lines and has the ducks in a row. 1st of January, bang, 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 all in. Tottenham, I tell you what, lads, we'll do nothing for the first 28 days, and then we're really professional in the last 2. But look, glad he's here. We needed him. Good luck to him. I'll support him. As I said, he's a very good player. He's good in the tackle. For a bulky lad, he's very good on the ball, like for a big lad. But we could have got this done a lot sooner. But look, he's in. So let's get behind him.
No, 100%. Look, I think many people sort of echo your sentiment there that, back to what Drew said at the start of the show, right? Sacrificed how many points this January, before we could finally get someone in. But Donovan, I think, it was one we needed to accelerate the push for a centre-back in the market over the last couple of days with Dragoson's injury, with Romero expecting to be out a lot longer than initially thought. It's one that we needed to get in the door so that we had a bit of cover. What's your thoughts on the signing?
Yeah, big up, and sorry lads, I just got off the phone with Lange there, so obviously better late than never. Hey, no, it's. I think you said it yourself there, Dermo. Like nobody of quality really wants to come to Spurs right now. Like nobody in their right mind is going to jump onto a sinking ship on a lifeboats right beside it, right? So I think this is the kind of market we're going to be attracting players that want that jump up into the Premier League. Players that fall in that bracket but are data driven, data led. He's quick, he's rapid, he's physical. I did see Daigle's breakdown there. If you shout out Brian there, he had a good breakdown of his injury record. So he's robust, but he's been known to break down. So obviously, hopefully he can kind of ride that, because it seems that everybody that joins this new Ange Postecoglou system is being pushed to the limit right away, and he's getting thrown right in the deep end. So he's obviously not registered in time for a game today, and I don't think he's allowed to play in the cup. So we'll have to wait a little bit to see him. But I trust our data model, and our last center back turned out pretty good. So with Van de Ven. So I'm just glad we got somebody in finally. Jeez.
No, look, I think many people will definitely agree with that. Look, for me, I suppose better late than never, innit, we needed a centre-back. We finally got one. He's a big, strong lad. He's quick. I think, you'll be able to play the high line with him, even without Mickey van der Ven in the team, because of his pace and stuff like that. And you know what? He's not a bad one-on-one defender either. So, look, I'm going to preserve judgment till I see him in action. I'm not going to go, over the top. I'm not going to go too mad on it. At the end of the day, we needed bodies in. We've got one. He wanted to come to Tottenham. We've been turned down by 3 or 4 players already this month that hasn't. So you can ask for a player that wants to be here, I suppose. Let's wait and see what he can contribute. I struggle to see him being thrown in against Liverpool midweek. Let's wait and see what happens. Let me know in the comments. Do you think he will? But that's everything you need to know. Well, that's our thoughts on Kevin Danso. Let's hear what the people have to say. Daniel Harris is big up. Team Harris checking in. Harlow Globetrotter, who Dave lives in Austria, and I've seen lots of Danso. Says he's just okay. Who I know lives in Austria. Oh, I know who you're on about. What's his name? Is that the guy from the cheese room? HG, maybe. Yeah, HG. Big up Dave Harris. Says he's okay. Look, let's wait and see. Jay Mead says, I remember when Jose Nuno and Conte were here, we knew the pain that faced us to change playing style and clear the deadwood. We are still adapting and we need to see it through. Big future ahead. Big up, Jay Mead. Good to see you, my man. Guys, I also wanted to get people's quick thoughts on, let me get it up for 1 second. To bookmarks. Yeah, here we go. This fraud. I also want to get people's thoughts on this idiot here, Richie Wellens. So basically, he's the Leyton Orient manager. And he said after his side lost yesterday, I am not going to make excuses. I'm not Ange Postecoglou. Wellens has now since offered a formal apologies for his comments, describing Postecoglou as a world-class coach and lauding the strong relationship between Tottenham and Leyton. I mean, I've no doubt he's lauding the strong relationship, considering he's got two of our best youngsters out on loan, Josh Keeley and Jamie Donnelly, and he's won them a lot. They've won him a lot of games. But we'll start with you, Drew. How disrespectful is this? Should Tottenham actually just pull the two youngsters back, because we need bodies right now as well at the end of the day. And you can't have a team like Leyton Orient coming out here, having a pop at our manager, at our football club. It's absolutely disgusting. By the way, they're all the way down in League One as well, which makes it even worse. But, to come out and say, I'm not going to make excuses, I'm not Ange Postecoglou. What's your thoughts on that, Drew?
I would like to know kind of more around the context of when exactly it was said. I mean, it's certainly not a good look.
So basically, it was after they lost. It was right after. I've watched the video myself. I just can't play the video here. But basically, after they lost, they asked him about, losing the game. And he basically just turned around and says, I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not Ange Postecoglou. That was it.
Are they having a tough time in the league? Is he worried about his job?
They're flying, lad.
Flying. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. Would you like him to be more professional? Absolutely. Did he probably regret it as soon as he said it? Probably. I don't know, man. I kind of wanted. It's one of those things I maybe would get annoyed at if things weren't already really frustrating. I just think we got bigger fish to worry about frying. I don't know. He looks like a dick, yes. I'm sure Ange has probably been on the phone and been like, come on, mate, that's a bit harsh, wasn't it? And he's probably gone, yeah, that was really harsh. I'm really sorry. And at that point, I'm just like, it is what it is. I can't, because to be honest with you, with the way that those kids are flying at the moment down there, I don't know that bringing them back does any good. And I think it's one of those kind of, you just kind of cutting your nose off to spite your face, because as much as I think Donnelly's going to be fantastic, and I guess he could play a part in the remainder of the season, I think his trajectory at the moment at Leyton Orient is different to what it was had he stayed at Tottenham. So I think you need to keep him on that trajectory. So I think you just accept the apology like the bigger and better man you are, and you move on.
Look, fair. That's one point of view on it for sure. Dermo Brecken says, I heard about that comment on Ange. Personally, I think it's completely out of order.
Just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. Look, I think it's a dumb comment to make, a stupid comment to make, and I'm sure if that's how I'm sure. See, I don't. I think managers. I think any manager has to be so careful what to say in the press conference or after a match, because they're going to be so emotional anyway, or with a win or a defeat or whatever. So look, it was the wrong thing. It was the wrong thing to say, but I think, was it taken out of context a little bit? What was it? Just, we're going to use that. We're going to use that little segment of the interview, and we'll forget about the rest. He shouldn't have said it, but sometimes the media take a section out of an interview, and they just use it. And I think managers will be emotional. How emotional is Ange after matches, and how he is with the media and with the reporters? I think he shouldn't have said it, but I think if you win or lose, you're emotional. And I think the media seem to play on that a little bit, and then if they say one thing, then they're going to take it out, or we're going to use that one word, and then it's splashed all over the paper.
But they haven't took this out of context at all. This is what this idiot said.
Yeah, well, I look, he shouldn't have said it, but managers are emotional. I'm looking at it from a different point of view. Our managers are very emotional.
Well, I get they're emotional, Darmo, but should, get some respect. We're giving you two of our fucking, hottest under 21 prospects. They're making massive contributions for you in the league. If you didn't have them, would you still be in the job? So it's sort of like, I get you're emotional, but why coming out and have a dig at Tottenham, one of the clubs that's bloody helping you?
Yeah, I agree. I think I agree. He should never have said it, and he does deserve to apologise. And if I was Angel, wouldn't take his apology. To be fair,
I'd organise a pre-season friendly and rout them in the summer. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and I probably do agree with you as well. They should take the kids back and take them out of there straight away just to prove a point. But I'm just trying to make a point as a point as a whole. All managers say things they don't mean to say. All managers say stuff after games. This is not helpful for him. It's not helpful towards the relationship between us and Leyton Orient. We've helped them out a hell of a lot with the kids going there all the time. We do have a good relationship when it comes to loaning out our kids to them. But also, I think if you look on the flip side, I think a managers can be emotional and they can say things, and he's probably regretting it this morning. And I hope he has picked up the phone to Tottenham and to Ange and apologised. And I hope Ange has said, "Go and stick your apology up your ass. We're taking the kids out of Leyton Orient now." But it's if you were doing the game, Dave, I'll just ask you a quick question. If you're a manager and somebody stuck a microphone straight under your nose 30 seconds after a defeat.
Yeah,
you're not going to be thinking straight. I know it's wrong in what he said.
No, but also the first thing that's not going to come out my mouth is have a drive at a club that's helped me either.
Yeah, I probably not, but all managers probably don't think like. Everyone doesn't think the same. I'm sure he regrets saying it. I'm sure he does, and he shouldn't have said it. But I'm not trying to defend him here. I'm just trying to say that people do say things after defeat. After a game, and everyone makes comments after a game.
Tottenham or Ange Postecoglou has nothing to do with that game. I understand what you're saying, that they come out and say stupid things, they're emotional. But how is Tottenham or Ange Postecoglou even enter the thought process? We're not even a part of the game. It's stupid. Honestly, there's no defending it. It's absolutely mind-boggling.
How has he had an argument with Ange? Has something been said between the two clubs?
Come on, Darmo. What's he going to have an argument with Ange Postecoglou about?
Well, why did he say his comments then? Why did he come out with that comment?
That's what I'm asking. But why would he have this is what I'm trying to say. He definitely hasn't had an argument with Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou has nothing to do with him. But why come out and pull out Tottenham or even the Tottenham manager, considering we've given them Jamie Donnelly and Josh Keeley? Josh Keeley has kept 11 clean sheets there. Jamie Donnelly has put many points on the board over December and January for them. It's absolutely mind-boggling. To be honest, Darmo, I get what you're saying, but I think you're reading into it far too deep as he had a falling out with Ange and stuff. There's no justifying what he done. If I'm Tottenham, I'm punishing these fuckers.
Yeah, that I think you're right, but I think that I'm not trying to defend him. I think it's wrong. I've said for like 3 or 4 times he's wrong in what he said, but I'm just trying to look at it from a different point of view. I'm looking at it from probably outside looking in. You don't know what's gone behind the scenes. Maybe Tottenham been on to them. You're using them too much, or something's been said, and maybe he's just said something stupid. It's a stupid thing to say. And as I said, if you lose in a game, managers are very all managers can be very cynical and very controversial in what they say to deflect from their defeat. If they play badly and he's made a mistake, managers will say things defectively to take the pressure off them. So I don't know what's gone on. I think it's wrong, but I think also, managers do say stupid things after defeats. So it's wrong in what he said, but it's a bit of that too. But that's just my opinion. I get what you're saying. But I'm just trying to look at it from a different point of view.
I get it, but I think you're just looking way too far into it about Ozzy had fallen out with Ange. The guy wouldn't even be able to contact Ange Postecoglou, who's down in League One. Anyway, Donovan, what's your thoughts on this quickly? And we'll move on, man.
Before I get stuck in, isn't Leyton Orient that team that Harry Kane sponsored? When they were down in League 2 and gave him the shirt sponsorship and stuff. And then, like you said, we've notoriously loaned out players, not just these two youngsters you have out now, but we've loaned them out a couple more during the last 4 or 5 seasons. So just the fact that as a club, like to do that to another club, especially kind of their parent club, is just so disrespectful. It just shows lack of class. It just shows lack of just awareness. Maybe you're trying to get a soundbite. Maybe you're trying to be funny. Maybe you're trying to like take the mic. But I mean, like have your lessons, like not lessons. What's the word? Know your level, man. Like, you know, like have a bit of class and respect. That being said, I would like an interview to come out and kind of bring this up to Ange, so he could have one of those moments, probably a couple decades ago at the Grammys. Will Ferrell interviewed a young Eminem upcoming, and he said, "An Afrojack dissed you. What are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do about it?" And all Eminem replied was with, "Who? Sorry, who?" So it'd be funny to Ange, like, "Hey, so this young, what's his name, Wellens. What do you have to say about this Wellens coach saying stuff about you in League One?" And Ange would just be like, "Who? Sorry, who is that? I don't have no idea who this is," and just kind of dismiss it as that, because that's what it is, right? It's some no-name boss that I don't even know the lad. He'll be irrelevant in 12 months' time, and it's just disrespectful. So. Yeah, let's take the high road, as you said there, Drew, and kind of brush this one off. But it just stinks lack of class and lack of awareness by the Leyton Orient boss. I mean, like he's just reaching. Maybe he's desperate. Maybe they're not doing too good in the league or something. He just needs some kind of soundbite. But know your place, lad.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Couldn't agree more with you. I mean, look, at the end of the day, what's Richie Wellens' biggest achievement? And he's calling out Ange Postecoglou. You know, he wishes he could have Ange Postecoglou's career. I think it's absolutely disrespectful. I think it's disgusting towards Tottenham Hotspur. If I'm the Leyton Orient owners, I'm pulling them in and I'm giving them a good dressing down. You know, not only did Harry Kane help sponsor them out, but we've given them youngsters on loan. And not only, you know, Jamie Donnelly and Keeley, this goes all the way back to 2007 and longer, where we've been giving them players on loan. And he's come out and done that. I mean, if I'm Tottenham, anytime they come looking for a player now next summer, nope, get your house in order. You can't have Mandra calling us out when we're giving you players and stuff like that. It's absolutely disrespectful from Richie Wellens. Look, glad he came out and apologized after, but if I'm Tottenham, I'll consider seriously about the relationship with the club. Like, we're being taken the piss out of all over the transfer market. And fucking watching the darts, everyone's singing Tottenham get battered everywhere they go. And now I'm listening to a League One manager having a jibe at Tottenham Hotspur. I'm absolutely fed up with it. It's about time we start putting some respect on our name. But look, let's get into it. Let's talk about today's game. Dermo, we'll start with you. Spurs have beaten Brentford just once in our previous meeting, in our 5 previous meetings, out of 3 matches at the G-Tech. They've ended in a draw as well. Can Spurs break this pattern and get a much-needed victory, or is a draw the most realistic outcome today?
I would love a win. I think we deserve a win, but I'll take a point. I'll take a point all day long. I think if we can get a point, at least that's a good performance. I think that's a good bounce to take us into Liverpool. And it's quite ironic. You know, it was the first place we went to under Ange Postecoglou. His first game in charge was against Brentford, and we got that 2-2 draw. I think Emerson scored the equaliser that day, if my memory serves me correctly. So, look, I would love a win. Of course I would. I think a win would do us a world of good. But I've always said it. You win your home games and you take a point, at least a point away from home. So let's go and get at least a point. A win be great, but if we can get a point, I'm taking that all day long. It stops the rot. It gives us a bit of confidence going into Thursday's game and also the FA Cup game against Villa the following Saturday. I do you know what? Yeah, I would love a win, but I'll take a point. That's my view.
No, look, it's going to be a difficult game, Brentford away. Now, they haven't won in their last 4 at home either, you know, so they're not in the best of forms either at home, but their home form in general is pretty good. It's going to be a very, very tough game, but the last 3 games where we've gone to the G-Tech have all ended in the draw. It's hard to see where Tottenham can pick up the win today, given the form and that we're in. But look, let's wait and see. Big up, Slow Jamrod. Good to see you as well. Like Tequila says, we deserve to have the piss taken out of us, Dave. Own it. Look, I understand what you're saying in terms of, you know, the way we operate. But I'm a Spurs fan. And if you think I'm going to sit there and happy clap the likes of Richie Wellens and everyone else taking the piss out of Tottenham, what's the point of being a Tottenham fan? I may as well stick on another jersey and go and support them. So, you know, I'm not saying that's what you should do, Tequila, but I'd seriously have a think about it. Like, Close can take the piss out of Tottenham, everyone else can. But we're Tottenham fans. We should be sticking up for it, not sitting there joining in with them. And that's what you're doing right there. But look, let's keep it moving. Let's go on to Drew. Drew, after several disappointing league results, there's growing pressure on Ange Postecoglou to get a result against Brentford. What kind of performance are we expecting from this team today in the crucial match? Because off the back of the Europe, we have been pretty dismal this year when we've played Europe, and then on the weekend, the game on the weekend has been pretty poor.
I want a 90-minute performance, Dave. I want to. I'm sorry, I can't keep a straight face. Dude, I don't know. I'm hoping that the game against Elfsborg, I'm really hoping they seem to conserve a little bit of energy. I don't think it was quite at the breakneck speed that it normally is. Now, whether that's because they couldn't do that anyway, and they're, you know, I mean, I've been saying for weeks, the only difference is now today is just that they're more tired than they were 3 days ago. So I don't know. I'm hoping the kids have done themselves proud, and I'm just wondering whether I'm wondering whether you might integrate a couple of them today for 20, 30 minutes. I don't know. I'd love just a solid performance and for us to not look like we're just struggling for 90 minutes. Like, I would like for us to sort of go away and at least look like we're competing for a little while. But as I say, I've been harping on about this for weeks. I'm kind of fully aware that they're dead on their feet. So at the moment, the only thing I can hope for is that we don't get absolutely turned over. I've got a feeling we'll sneak a point. I'm quietly optimistic. So hopefully we can stay solid. I'm not sure what they're going to do at the back. Obviously, Dragason's out. I don't know if VDV's got 90 minutes in him. So
he doesn't. Postecoglou said in his pre-match press conference that he doesn't.
Right, probably going to do 60, maybe 70 minutes at most, I would think. So I don't know, man. I'm really hopeful. Brentford haven't been firing on all cylinders, but by the same token, Vissa and Buema up front are dangerous. And if we don't have our wits about us, we could find ourselves a couple goals down pretty quick. So I think we just need to stay as solid as possible and just grind it out. I don't expect it to be pretty. I don't expect many games to be pretty until we start getting some bodies back, to be honest with you.
Do you know what? It's a really weird one like today, because like I said, off the back of Europe, off the back of the Galatasaray game, the Hoffenheim game recently, there's been other games where we just haven't got up to speed over in the league. And look, that's not just Tottenham. You look at Aston Villa against Wolves yesterday off the back of Europe. You know, the first half, it's very slow, very hard to get going. We just need to battle and try and scrape over the line and try and get some sort of result today. It's not going to be easy. We know Brentford, you know, they've got Mbuemo there. They've also got Wissa absolutely on fire. They scored against us in the first minute at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, although we went on to win the game. And they're a huge, huge threat from set pieces, which, you know, to a degree, still our Achilles a little bit. So it's not going to be an easy game. And going forward, I just hope that you're seeing Son now back, you know, back to his best. He was brilliant there last week, brilliant in the first half against Leicester. You know, hopefully Kulu's out there today. He's on fire as well off the back of that cross against Elfsborg. But for me, the game is out wide. There's no point in trying to play through Brentford, get out wide, a bit like Elfsborg, and look to put quality balls in the box and undo them that way. But this is going to be an absolute battle today. I'm not sure we're going to see free-flowing football. My only hope is that Van de Ven comes in and makes a huge difference in terms of allowing us to play a lot higher up the pitch, which means the midfielders and the forward players can get after Brentford a lot higher up the pitch rather than dropping back so deep and inviting the pressure on. So let's wait and see what happens in that regard. But I'm just saying to everybody, I wouldn't expect Spurs to come out and play this full 90 minutes, free-flowing, pressing football. You got to remember, we've got players that are coming back that aren't fully up to speed, and some of the players that we are using are still fatigued. So I wouldn't expect a massive, a really cohesive performance today. Donovan, After several disappointing league results, there's growing pressure. Oh, no, I've already said that one. Sorry, Donovan. It was a big night for Tottenham youngsters in the N17 during our win over Elfsborg with Mikey Moore, Dane Scarlett, and Damola Ajayi all scoring their first goals for Tottenham. So it begs the question, does Ange need to place more trust in the young players moving forward?
Yeah, we like you said, give them their moment. Give them the full 28 hours, 48 hours. I mean, that's still basking it. That goal was really nice. Link up play. You can tell it was out of the academy.
Yeah.
I bet he's
made
played
in
that.
London. Made in N17. That's what they're calling it.
How many times in the U19, U20 games has he played that exact pass in a Dane Scarlett and Gainsborough did the exact same thing, lay it off, and it was just great to see. But I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it's important to like acknowledge the level of the opposition. I mean, was that Swedish Division 1 football? So I don't know where that kind of compares in the Premier League. Then again,
so
Bergvall
is what you're saying, Donovan, that you don't think they're ready to come in, the likes of Ajayi, for instance, he's not ready to come on and make the impact in the Premier League? Because I sort of agree with you to a certain degree. I do agree. I think Postecoglou deserves immense credit for bringing them on in an environment where they can shine like that. He deserves credit for doing that. But I sort of agree with you. Premier League is another step up altogether.
Yeah, but at the same time, tell me this. Like, I'd rather have an academy graduate that is proven that can score in Europe and dropping $60 million on another club's academy product, right? Like, it's crazy how we had that link to Tal, and he obviously rejected us, and we know how that happened. But, and then the same day, our youngster just come to the front like that. Like, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's them kind of like, you know, biting at the bit and kind of like giving the manager something to think about. Like, hey, you know, you don't need to go abroad. We do have talent here. Like, this is us. Like you said, we're made in N17. Like, this is kind of what we're born and bred for, right? We're gonna play here. This is our boyhood club. We want to make an impact. And just the fact that even if they're good enough or not, the fact that we have players with that mentality that are coming through and wanting to play on the first team, that's huge. It might be a needs of necessity. We might not have another choice, you know. Like the deadline day is over. Like the transfer window is closed, pretty much. Like there's no way we're getting anyone else in. So, I don't know what's going on with Timo. I don't have no idea when Solanke's back. I don't know what's up with Brennan. So we might have to start bleeding these guys into the squad. And I saw good things from our youngsters there. Yeah, I think the future's in good hands. So.
Do you know what? That Thursday night tested me so much. I was livid watching a lot of that game because it's like, you know, Son was brilliant in trying to break them down, but then I look at everybody else. Once he beats the fullback, there's no real movement for him in the box to be able to, you know, find that final pass, that killer instinct. And, you know, I thought a lot of the game, we just got sucked into playing boring football side to side. You know, I feel like, you know, we should have put more crosses in the box at the end of the day to test them. And that's where our first goal came from. Once we scored that, it opened the dam, you know. And one player I was really surprised about, and Surf South brought him up here, is Ajayi. Do you know what? Look, he's a really talented player, but, you know, there's been so many other players in the under-21s that have been head and shoulders above this kid. But I was very surprised with what he came off the bench and done, and I absolutely loved it. You know, he just seen the space and open up and attacked it. You know,
powerful and direct, right?
Powerful. Yeah. And then the end product to match, which was even more impressive for me, because sometimes we do play great moves, but then we don't have that killer instinct or that end product. And the end product to match, I thought, was absolutely brilliant.
You know what I thought about that end product, though, Dave? Like, I thought, sorry for interrupting, but I think it's like the first team footballers that are integrated to the squad, that are the first team internationals, that are there, that are paid the big wages. It's almost like they're in their head too much when it's the ability of like, hey, it's such an easy finish. Like, football is not that hard of a game, you know. You pick your finish, you see up, you sight the keeper, and boom. It's almost like when Richarlison come off the bench there and he's getting in those spaces Solanke was not getting in, because Solanke almost is just running to the ground, or he doesn't have that fresh of mind, and where it's like you have somebody on the outside looking in and comes in and just does the basic things right. Like, if you look at those finishes by Mikey Moore and Ajayi, big shout out there. I could not mention his name, I'm sorry, but yeah, like those are like decent finishes, but they're not world-class ability where it's like it's a top screen where he's beating 4 or 5 guys. It's just a calm, classic stroke in the bottom corner, well out of the goalkeeper's reach. And you're almost wondering if our first team players are just, like you said, Dave, just too side to side, or maybe they're overthinking the finish. How many times in recent history have we worked the ball into a great position to have that final shot? When you see so many other teams taking that shot, for us just to pass it back, it's almost like we're trying to pass the ball in the back of the net, which we don't need to do. And it almost seems like we've built up this mental block of this psyche of like, oh, we're up against Premier League opposition, we're up against world-class opposition, constant. Well, no, you're up against what you're playing against. Test the guy. Test the lad. If you put into Rosette, at least you had a shot. If he catches it, at least you had a shot. Make him force it around the post. Make the goalie work. And that's what the youngsters did. They were fearless. They had no chains on them, and they just went out and literally just passed the ball walking speed into the net. It was almost like slow motion watching that ball roll in on Mikey Moore's goal, but it was still a beautiful finish. So it's good to see this freshness of mind come through, and it's almost good to see just this. I don't really know. Now it lights the fire under the ass of Charleston.
Yeah.
And it's Sonny almost in a way too, because he's like, wow, okay, I got to finish strong here. You know, I can't just walk my way over the finish line. So shout out to the youngsters, and I hope they get more minutes, man, especially in the Premier League.
I think what they have definitely proven is no worries, Dermo. I think, you know, what they've shown is that Postecoglou can sort of turn to them off the bench if needs be when we've got all these injuries, that he shouldn't be so hesitant to maybe throw them in, you know, for 10, 15 minutes and see what sort of impact they can make. You look at Mikey Moore, you look at some of the games he's played, Karabag, Ferencváros, AZ Alkmaar, that goal the other night, taking the game to the opposition, Olasesi against Hoffenheim, got us back up the field, got us back playing in their half, relieved the pressure. And then you look at the impact with Dane Scarlett, you know, Mikey Moore and Ajayi against Elfsborg. I do think one thing they've done is saying, put their hands up and said, Postecoglou, you can turn to me in times of trouble for sure on that one. Let's just take a few comments here from the chat. Daniel Harris says, I bumped into Academy coach Ryan Hall at the train station on Thursday. Said we've got a lot of young talent and Moore is 100% the only one they all think will go all the way. I think you look at Mikey Moore's goal the other day, and what I absolutely loved about it, Daniel, is, you know, Ajayi's after scoring, and if you're Mikey Moore, you think, how long have I been around the senior team? You know, I just can't get that goal. But it almost inspired him. He turned into a different animal. As soon as he picked up that ball, he was never passing it. He was going all the way and finished it. It was absolutely impressive, and I can see why they think that for sure. Big up, Daniel. Jack Bloom 2025 says, come on, you Spurs, make me happy today. Oh, look, we're all praying for the same, my man. Derek Hutchinson, big up, my man. Big up, Del Boys. Big up, Dave, Jack. Dave, Drew, Dermo, Donovan, come on, you Spurs. Good to see you. We've got Foggy Foam. Johnson would have passed back or look for the fullback instead of running and attacking. And that I fully agree with. Fully agree with that. He's absolutely king of that. Surf South has got good first touch by Ajayi. That's what got him the goal. Do you know what? You go back and look at it. He actually took out 2 or 3 players on his run. It was a very, very good run. Neil Shafton says 4 Nation Cup starts soon. Canada, Sweden, Finland, USA. Let's go USA. Presume that's ice hockey. If I'm stabbing a guess at it. Absolute Boar 22 says the kids play without fear and pressure. Definitely agree with that. And Gisty 94, I love that. Says anyone know what channel it is on in Ireland? Come on, you Spurs. Sky Sports, my man. If you've got it, is the only place it's on in Ireland today, my man. Big up, Gisty. Whereabouts in Ireland you're from? Please do let me know. Drew, though, I do want to ask you a bit of a different question. Should we be excited that our young players are performing so well? Or should we be worried that our senior players are underperforming compared to a bunch of kids? Because I don't know how to feel after that. I feel torn.
Yeah, I don't know if that's harsh or not, really. I feel like I know it shouldn't bother them, and I know we all sit here and say, well, they're professionals, and with what they get paid and with the training they do, we should just expect them to just be consummate professionals and just be able to just turn it on and off. And I just feel like the team's been so disjointed, and that atmosphere in that stadium at times can just kind of suck the life out of you. I mean, it sucks the life out of me sitting here watching it. So I don't know. I just think they're kind of wearing it on their shoulders a little bit. I think their heads are a little down. And I think these kids, and it seems to be the way, like kids, when it comes to football, a lot of them just don't have any fear. and they just kind of go out on the pitch. And especially with somebody like Ange on the sidelines, I'm sure he's probably, I mean, I'm sure they've got instructions, but I'm sure he's basically just said, go out there and just be you, just go and enjoy it, just go and do your thing. And they kind of played like that, right? Ajayi's first goal, or Ajayi's goal, we've been screaming at Johnson to do something like that for weeks. Put a ball to your man, take your man on, run past him, cheeky 1-2, just show a little bit of determination. And dude, I would, if we manage to, if we're still 0-0 after 70 minutes or 1-1 or we're still in the game, I say throw these kids on, because they've got bundles of energy. And if you can tell them, they're just kind of an unknown factor, right? An unknown commodity, because you can't really scout these kids, because I mean, you can watch them in the under-18s, but bring them on in a Premier League match around men, and I think they're just kind of, it's almost like a toddler running around at a party, It's like, well, where's this kid come from? And they just go. So I say I've every faith in them. They've been playing well for their respective age groups. He would only be on that pitch if Ange truly believed he deserved to be there.
Yeah.
And I say let's go. I mean, we've been screaming for the kids to come on. Matthias Tell is worth 60 million, and people want him because he's been given game time and he's been given a chance to flourish and develop. So if we've got any aspirations of these kids being, that sort of level, or if we have aspirations of being able to get these kids to a level where we can sell them for 30, 40, 50 million and actually do what other clubs do and benefit from our academy one way or another, then I'm all about it. I say, I'm not saying go stupid and let's play 6 or 7 kids, but I'm sure it's not going to do us any harm at this point. I think it can only really benefit us.
Dude, it's like almost we have like a free pass in the league. Like, do you think we almost have a free pass? Like, we're we're not getting relegated. Like, we're not getting relegated once Romero comes back, once Vicario's back in the fold, once Dogia. Like, we'll climb the table. We might finish upper mid-table, maybe just outside of Europe, just outside the Conference League, if we have a good end to the season. But I almost wonder now if Ange has a confidence of, okay, my job is secure. Obviously, the board, I've fallen this far. The board's not going to sack me. I've gotten some backing. So it's like, well, you have all this limbo. So like, let's maybe play some of these players and start prioritizing the cups. Like I could see, I know we're not there in the particular lineups yet there, Davo, but I could see Moore having a big impact for this game. I could see him, they've been saving him, and it's almost like, I hate going back to the Pochettino era, but it's almost like we're in that area where, okay, the league form's gone, so let's focus on Europe, right? And that's kind of what we did. We kind of threw all our eggs at the European basket, and it doesn't just have to be Europe. I mean, we're still in the FA Cup. We still have Aston Villa coming up here, and so it would be a good time. It could be a good free pass for Ange to give some of these youngsters a go. I mean, Ajayi, I know he's like the newest name on the block, but the guy's built like an ox, man. Obviously, Valencia didn't work out. I think his red card against Galatasaray really kind of hindered that, but obviously Ajayi could ride the tackles, right? He's bigger than half the fullbacks out there, right? The fact of giving him a presence and giving him something new to run at, like you said there, Drew, almost like a toddler at a party, right? It's like, what's this guy doing here, right? It's fearless, right? And it's almost like you know what you're gonna get out of Johnson, right? That's the kind I'm trying to get at here. You know what you're gonna get at him. You're gonna get a guy who's gonna give 80% of his effort out there, and he might have a burst. He might come at the end of a cross. He might be able to beat his man. But 8 times out of 10, it's so frustrating, man. The guy can't even shift the ball 2 feet to the yard and time across. He gets it blocked every single time, and it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, so at least we have something different, and we don't know what to expect. And it could be Stardust. It could be gold, right? It might. Yeah. The reality is that it's probably just a subpar averageness or just a bit above, but at least he's fearless, and at least we're trying something different. So it's almost like Ange has a free pass here with all this limbo in the league. So I say just go for it. Just go for it, man.
Interesting. Well, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Just quickly, Tequila says, lovely fan base you have here, Dave, talking about my parents because my football views are different. Look, first of all, I've always condoned, always said, sorry, not condoned, but I've always said, keeping on football opinions, never take it personal. Second of all, I've removed them. Third of all, I will always take care of it when I get round to it. You've got to remember, I'm trying to keep the questions with panels and talking points, do comments and all these other stuff as well. So just bear with me. I'll get to it. Third of all, he's gone. Fourth of all, there's 600 people watching here today. I can't be held accountable for what other people are saying to you, my man. All I can do is try and deal with it at the end of the day. But we're all adults here. And to say that, this is a representative of my fan base isn't true, because anytime I see this shit, I turf them straight out of the comments and they're gone, not to be returned. So, look, I'm not having that where you're saying it's a lovely fan base you have, Tequila. Again, bang out of order at the end of the day. You know yourself. You do stuff with Thermo. Do you know every single person that comes into the chat and makes comments in yours? No, you don't. I can't be held accountable for that. All I can do is sit there and try and deal with it. But one thing I've always preached is to never go after someone personally. Stick to the footballing opinions. So on that one, I get what you're saying, but sometimes it just takes a little while for me to see it and get there and deal with it. But I always will deal with it. But to say that he's a representative of me, no, I'm not having that. Definitely not, for sure. Definitely not. Let's see who else we've got in here. We've got DB in the house. Afternoon, boys. Earphones in, washing the car, listening in. So you saved from my pre-match waffle. It's not never pre-match waffle, DB. We absolutely enjoy you coming in here and your takes and that, my man. Big up.
Big up,
We've
DB.
got that's what big up Jack and Dave need to get ahead of everything today. Definitely do. Jesus, they're doing nice stuff. Good job there. We've got Phil P in the house. Good to see you. The kids are totally coys, have something to prove, are fearless, and want to make a name for themselves. Woo! Phil, good to see you.
Phil P,
That's
big
more
up,
like
mate.
it. You've got more emphasis in that voice than I do right now, my man. And then we've
Oh,
got
good.
John Morrison in the house. Let me see if John has put in a comment after that. If he hasn't, John, just feel free to put in a comment and we'll bring it up and we'll address it, my man. Good to see you, though, John Morrison. Great name, by the way, Morrison. Do you own the brand? Do you own the chain, Morrison's? Let me know. And then Mario, good to see you as well. Hopefully you're keeping well. Look, let's keep it moving, guys. Look, should Mikey Moore, Dane Scarlett, Ajayi all be rewarded with some minutes today off the bench after their heroics midweek? I would like to think so. I'd like to think later on in the Brentford game, regardless of, where we are in terms of that game, whether ahead, whether we're losing, I do think you've got to try and keep rewarding these kids and giving them minutes, keep them focused and stuff like that, give them something to build towards. But look, let's get into in terms of team selection, Drew. I mean, what does Postecoglou do today with his team selection? With the Carabao Cup semi-final coming up, should Postecoglou rest key players for today's game against Brentford to ensure we're fully prepared for Liverpool? Or are the league points more important right now? Because ideally we'd want to focus on both, right? But with the injuries we have, that's not really an option. Or do you think we actually can realistically do both? Where are you at in terms of team selection, Drew? Because me, I'm not going to lie, I sort of have my eye on midweek.
We were talking about this yesterday off air, weren't we? I was slightly concerned because I do feel like obviously in the league we're dropping like a stone. Like I was looking at the table yesterday and I was in shock and I was like, hang on a minute, Manchester United were beneath us a minute ago, West Ham were beneath us a minute ago, Everton were beneath us a minute ago. We are dropping like an absolute stone. But I went through the fixtures that we've got coming up, and you've got to hope that when the players start to come back, like I can only sit here and hope that when the players come back, we're not going to have a situation where they get thrown into the deep end and they all start breaking down again. Because if they do, then we're probably done for. But I would like to think with the quality that we've got in this squad and with the players coming back and with the fixtures that we've got coming up, and with the fact, and I can't believe I'm saying this and I hate it, but with the fact that Southampton, Ipswich and Wolves are worse than us and Leicester, I just think we've got enough. And I don't know if we're going to go into this.
You were toying with that yesterday. You weren't.
I know I was. And while
Have you
we
had
went
a
through
thought about it?
Well, I'm going through the fixtures and I was just tallying them up in my head. And I honestly think of the 41 points that are still left to play. And again, I cannot believe I'm about to say this. Of the 41 points left to play, I'm sure we can get at least 12. Oh, God, that hurts. That really hurts. But I'm sure we can, which I think makes us safe in the league, and I still think if I absolutely had to choose, I would. If you had a gun to my head, I would forego the Carabao Cup because obviously the qualification for the Carabao Cup gets you into the Conference League. That being said, I'm not a snob and I will take any kind of Europe because I just think we need games. So, on that basis, I don't know. I don't know.
In the chat, let me know where you're at so I can start bringing up your comments on this discussion. Because, you know, I was like you the other day, Drew, sitting there thinking about, I was like, we're only 8 points above relegation. Teams around us are picking up points. We really need to start focusing on the league at some point. But you're one game away from a cup final potentially. You know, do you rest the likes of a Van de Ven? Do you even risk him today? Look, we'll get on to them individual decisions in a minute, but just in general or in broad context of the team selection, if you were in Postecoglou's shoes today, what would you do?
Well, lads, I mean, we're starting for silverware. I think the obvious question is just throw it at the wall and see if it sticks. You know, rest Van de Ven. I was mental watching him do those. Like, the guy is crazy. He was out for what, 3 or 4 months, and he's gumping in back post headers, flying in crazy, crashing into the net. Like, he has obviously no self-control, and that makes him okay as a good defender. It makes him world-class, but like, you have to save him from himself. I'd like to see us just rotate their squad. I'm not talking about going and playing 6 youngsters or the kindergartners here. I'm just talking about, you know, giving the likes of the SARs a chance. Like, Basuma play this game, you know, let him play, right? What's he gonna do, right? Like, you know, Archie Gray's built of steel. He can play anything, right? So he can play his 20 games a season, 20 games a month. Let him go. Kinski, the youngster, give Reggie a go. Postman Poro, have him out there. Just have a nice balance. And then, you know, save the Kulus and the Madisons and the Suns and the Van de Vens, you know, for nice and fully charged, so we can just run at that wall at Anfield and just, you know, hope we can do something. Because all we need is a draw. Let's be real. You know, we could go out there and Ange could play the best Conte ball of his career, and we could come out and we go Wembley in the final, right? So we're that close. And call me delusional.
When was the last time we played for a draw and was successful?
What's that last? Yeah. But no, for real though, like, we're so close to a final, man. And like, maybe it's because I'm a young, naive Spurs fan. I didn't quite appreciate the occasion. But maybe it was also clouded because Mason was in charge. But to see half of Wembley just full out Spurs, you know, and have that again, like, was almost like we were like entitled within the Pochettino or how close and how good we were. But let's be real, like, under Daniel Levy and just since that early 2000s, we just have been underachieving. And, you know, this is the closest we've been. And it's crazy. We're having such a crap season, and it has to be that way. This is gallows humor, and it's not going to come close to what's happening. But it's like, of course, Tottenham Hotspur in relegation battle and win a trophy, right? So let's just, So let's just go out there, get the business done. The Carabao Cup is one of those trophies where if you win it, you can get it won early, and you still have a significant amount of the season, the business end left. So let's win that trophy, and that springboards us forward, and that momentum we get, that slingshots us forward. Maybe that gets us over the line in Europe. Maybe that gets us farther in the league. Maybe that staves off relegation. And and like, I think it was you or one of the members on the last word on Spurs, Dave, was saying, you know, once you get that trophy hoodoo off your back, that ignites the passion for more. Then the players get a taste of success, and that kind of brings out maybe the sleeping giant that Tottenham Hotspur really are, right? Because we have all the infrastructure, we have the best stadium, we have the cash revenue machine, and we'll have a fan base that once we have it, they'll expect it from Daniel Levy, if not sell the club, you know. So you know, we're so close. Let's just go for it, man. I'd say rest and rotate, and then hope we stay above relegation later on.
Interesting.
I guess, right, I tell you what, right? Oh, God, Dave.
No, work away.
For me, the most important thing for this club, the most important thing is for us to qualify for Europe next season, one way or another, in my opinion, because you're guaranteed another 8 games. And I think the biggest problem, or one of the biggest things that can happen to this club to stop any kind of progression is to not be in Europe and potentially be back down to 41, 42, 43 games next year. Because if we're not in Europe and we have a shit run in the cups next year and we go out in the first round and we're back to 41 games, you're going to have an even harder time getting people to come to the club. You're going to have a harder time getting a manager to come into the club. And it's just a huge step backwards. So as much as I want a trophy is almost secondary to winning the trophy. It's what winning the trophy gives us next year that is the benefit. I'd love a trophy, but I'm looking at the table. I think somebody, I don't see who it was, but big up who it was, says we're not getting 12 points, and that makes me dead inside. But like, I don't see us. We're not qualifying for Europe through the league. We'll be lucky to get 10th, 12th, 13th place. So by that rationale, you have to win a trophy. So no pressure, lads. But look, I just think if we don't, and we go back to, I'll say it again, if we go back to 41, 42 games next season, that will be the biggest harm to this club in the last 2 years. Even bigger than a shitty transfer market.
Yeah. Now, look, for me, like when I look at the league, although we're getting dangerously close, I just think 32 points will keep you up this year. And I don't see the other teams below us making up 12, 15 points over the course of the rest of the season.
Well, the saving grace as well, Dave, right, is that we have to play Southampton and we have to play Ipswich. Unfortunately, we've already shot ourselves in the foot with fucking Leicester. We already let them take 4 points.
Yeah.
But we also got Wolves are below us, and we also play Wolves as well. So when you factor in, I mean, if you factor in those should be 6 points.
Do you know what? For me, I think another 2 wins will keep us in the Premier League. However, I do think it's important to try and consolidate ourselves in the league and stave off the relegation talk as quick as possible. Of course, there will come a point later down in the road where your last 16 of Europe, you got a game on the weekend. You want to try and, look, let's face it, right? We ain't making up the spots to get back into Europe in the league. It's not happening. We have to be more or less perfect between now and the end of the season. That ain't going to happen. So it has to be one of the cup competitions to try and get European football back here next season. And later on in the season, we are going to have to rest players for the Europa League and stuff like that. So for me, I do think it's important that we consolidate ourselves in the league very, very quickly so that when that fork in the road does approach, we can take that. We can then say, do you know what? We're in a position where we can prioritize the cup competitions. Right now, we're not in that. I wonder will Postecoglou go with a bit of a hybrid like he done against Salzburg? Son one half, Kulu the other. That way, they're only playing 45 minutes. They're still fresh for Liverpool, and you've got a constant attack in each half. It'll be interesting to see what Postecoglou does today. By no means can we just go to Brentford free pass. We're worrying about midweek. Can't do that. We've got to try and put some effort in to try and get some points. But I just wonder how all out we're going to go today. Because even if Postecoglou says to the players, I want to go for this, subconsciously, I know some of them players will hold themselves back for the midweek, for the semi-final. You're only human at the end of the day. Sorry, Donovan, you want to come in?
No, I was just echoing what you were saying. Like when I say rotate the squad and give it a free hit, I don't mean it as a free hit and 3 points. I mean in the aspect.
No, I know what you mean. I'm not.
I'm thinking that these players that are secondary and third string players are still have the quality to get over the line. But we've struggled against Rangers at the Ibrox, right? So it's like it's hard to say. Like I like to think that the likes of Bergvall, Bentancur, Sarr, Moore, Son Richarlison, Reggie, Van de Ven, Gray, Porum, and Vicario, if he starts today, or Kinski, could get over the line. But the reality is we're coming against some quality players, man. I made a quick list of off the top of my head, players that could get into our team and actually make an impact from Brentford. Like the Ben Mee, Visa, and Buemo, that Sheffield United midfielder that they transferred, that big tall guy, Norgard.
Oh, yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, he's a better Souček, right? Tall, arrives late in the box. And that Rico Henry that's on the fullback that's just got pace for days. He's going to be tearing up. He's on the left, so he'll be tearing up Porro. So, they play a nice compact version of a counterattacking football, and Thomas Frank has him drilled right to the tee, so it's not going to be an easy place to go. You've already seen that. We haven't even won there. But I like to think that that mentality, we talk about that Leyton Orient coach of come on, stay below you. Like, that's the mentality we have to have going to these games. And I said that the same thing last week against Leicester, but we got touched by Leicester. So, I mean, obviously that mentality is not there. It's only there in the cups. So we have to translate that into the Premier League. But I'm not quite, it's sad that we're talking about this. Like, oh, we can get 12 wins, or we need to win these games, these doubles on the team. It sucks we've fallen that far, because I'm still in the mindset where it's like, we're a Premier League outfit. We're a standard top 6 club. We are this far above that. Survival in the Premier League is a given. But I mean, the fact that it's not even given yet, like that's shocking. That is sad. Like, I saw a stat where we've something along the lines where the point difference between us and last season, or whatever games percentage, points per game, whatever it was, it's just really scary. But obviously the board's back down. He's not going anywhere. So yeah, what a time to be a Spurs fan.
Do you know what? It's one of them real conflicting times to be alive. Do you know what I mean? It's like asking you to pick a side in war. It's absolutely ridiculous. Let's take some comments from the chat, though, and let's keep pursuing, because I do have another question that I want to throw back at everybody. We've got Surf South says we need to prioritize Brentford. We've got Nick Carey says I'd start Dane, keep Richie for Liverpool. So I think his head's on the Liverpool game. Daniel Coy's but on loan to Liverpool every game right now. We need results. Simple as. We're in 16th. He wants to prioritize it all. Steve Combo says it's important for the momentum to be switched going into the semi-final FA Cup and future games. Absolutely spot on, Steve. Couldn't agree more with that. Swim Master says Liverpool more important. We could get to a final. In the final, anything can happen with our one-off matches in a final, especially with players back. So that's another one, prioritizing Liverpool. Paddy Villa says, I prefer to prioritize Liverpool and go ham at the league after that. Not a bad point of view there, Paddy. K32 says the facts don't lie. We are in a relegation scrap. Can't assume with players coming back that everything will suddenly get better for us. We have to be very careful in the league. Absolutely spot on. Future's bright. Future's Lily White. Great to see you, says, guys, Brentford, Liverpool, and Villa away in the next week. Do you know what, man? It's such a big week, and it's one of them. It can either really kill off our season, or it's going to, make our season in terms of you build that momentum and you really kick on. I think it really is one of them season-defining weeks, that you come across in a season, and hopefully we can stand up and get it off to a good start today. Good to see you, and says, I gave up my membership on every other channel bar this one, Davey boy. Do you know what? Really appreciate it. I don't know why. Let me know in the comments why. I appreciate that, though. Thank you very, very much. Very, very kind of you. But you don't have to give up your memberships on every other channel. You can still be a member here and be members everywhere else. Big up, my man. Big up, Curtis. Good to see you, brother. You never sent me on your number into the email, my man, but be good to see you. We've got George Cardass. Spurs on track to get relegated. We need to win. We've got Shem Tam, Davey. They can make up the points on us because we still have to play all of them, and didn't honestly see Wolves beating Villa 2-0. We've lost to all in the bottom three. We need points. I need to stop overlooking this. No, look, 100%. I fully agree with you in terms of, we have lost to them all. Look, I just think, another 6 points will keep Tottenham safe. Hopefully, three of them come today. But Shem, I agree with you. Look, we can't ignore the league. Definitely agree with that. Future's bright. Future's Little White says we ain't getting relegated only because the teams below us are so poor. And that's another one of my thinking as well behind that. Cantab says, good point. Really appreciate it. Good to see you, Cantab. Sir South says Europe is coming to N17. I think everyone's hoping so, my man. Absolutely everybody. Paddy Villa says, oh no, I got that one. League position is embarrassing, but I'd rather a trophy to survive the 12th to 13th and nothing. We've got Soul Sniper Gaming says, lose today, draw on Thursday, win on Sunday. Would fans be on next Sunday evening? A loss today, draw on Thursday, and a win on Sunday. Well, I mean, look, if you draw against Liverpool, we're into the Carabao Cup final, and if we beat Aston Villa, we're in the next round of the FA Cup. And I think it'll definitely ease the pain if we didn't pick up the result today for sure. And then we've got Nick Carey. Agree, Dave. I think it's the best way through at the minute. Halves each, keeping it strong at both halves. I think that would be a happy medium for me anyway in terms of today. Last thing I want to see is our players thrown out there for 95 minutes and they're absolutely bollocks come to the Liverpool game. I think the happy medium for me is a bit like the team selection we've seen either half of the Hotspur game. And I thought it was a really good plan from Postecoglou to a degree. Keep Son on for 45, take him off. Then you bring on Kulu. That way you still got a great attacking player in there. Same with Van de Ven. Bentancur all came off for 45 minutes. Basuma came on.
Yeah, you said you agreed with Ange Postecoglou with that decision there, Dave? Is that what I heard there? Sorry, I didn't
I thought it was a very good game plan. I thought it was a very, very good game plan, to be fair, from Ange Postecoglou against Salzburg. I liked what he done. I thought it was a good way to keep two good teams out there in both halves, while also getting key players a rest ahead of this game, ahead of this big week. So I actually think it was a very good game plan from Postecoglou, to be fair. Credit where credit's due. You know me, Donovan. I'll give credit where credit's true. And then we got Tot943, Dave, you're a legend. I don't know about a legend, but I appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. And then we've got this from Blaine Devlin. Big up, lads, back from Florida. Do you know what? I was just thinking about you the other day randomly. I was like, I haven't seen Blaine. I wonder how he's getting on over there in sunny Florida. Jet lagged and drowsy, never good, lad. Never good. To be honest with you, I don't know if I've ever traveled far enough to feel jet lagged, to be quite frank with you, actually. He says, I need a big performance to wake me up. You lads think we sign any attacker in the next 36 hours? Come on, you Spurs. Look, we all need a big performance today, first of all. Like I said, Blaine, I think, a win today could really set the tone for the rest of the week and, could reignite our season to a large degree. But it's not going to be easy. The last three games at the G-Tech between Tottenham and Brentford have all ended in draws. It's not going to be an easy game today. They're physical. How much do we really have in us in terms of, players fatigue and coming back from injuries and stuff? And how much of them are going to maybe hold themselves off and not make them challenges that they normally would make because the Carabao Cup. I think it's a lot of unknowns heading into today's game, Blaine. So I'm just going to sit back and wait and see what happens. But do we think we're going to sign an attacker in the next 36 hours? Come on, Spurs. Well, I don't know if you know, Blaine, but we did sign a defender, Kevin Danso. Hold me closer, Kevin Danso, by what's his name, Elton John. So I think we've signed him. Will we get in a forward player? Do you know what, Blaine? For me, it's all about, is it going to be a forward player that's genuinely more quality than what we've already got and ready to come in and make an impact now, which is what we need? If not, I actually don't want us to go for another forward player because I think, I'd rather just hold off to the summer at that point because I think you're only making your problem worse. But you've seen us try and go after players of somewhat caliber, the likes of Tell, who's that other idiot, Kolo Muani, turned down Tottenham, didn't want to come to Tottenham. And I think we've got a lot of that this market, to be quite frank. You look at Tomori as well, another one, chose Tottenham, chose to reject Tottenham Hotspur. So I'm worried about the caliber of the forward player. Do you know what? I have a weird theory looking at it. When you look at Kolo Muani, Matthias Tell, they're not out-and-out strikers. They do play off the wing as well. And I wonder, is that what Tottenham is more looking at rather than an out-and-out striker? Because you've got Dane Scarlett, who now can't go out on loan. You've got Richarlison, and then you'll also have Solanke back in March. So do we need an out-and-out striker? I think if we do get someone in, I think it will be a winger, if not someone that can play striker and wing. But I'm worried about the quality, though, Blaine. Guys, get involved in on this one. Do you believe deadline day is tomorrow evening? Do you believe Tottenham will get in an attacker before it closes? Anyone?
John?
Fight.
I keep hearing the name. I keep hearing the name Garnacho. I keep seeing Garnacho linked. I don't know how true that is. I mean, I love Garnacho. I think Garnacho is quality. I think anybody at United.
A lot of people called me deluded last night when I said I'd take Garnacho.
No, Garnacho's quality, man. It's like anyone who goes to United, your career either just dies or you just are mismanaged. Look what they've done to every. I can just make a list a mile long of the players that they've just ruined in the last decade. So I would take Garnacho. I mean, that world-class kick against Everton, that was amazing. And he can take his man on. He's direct. He's exactly what Ange wants. Someone that's dynamic, quick, young, can take coaching. Honestly, I would have taken Rashford. I would have taken a punt on Rashford.
That one I would have stayed away from.
You can't tell me Rashford. I mean, to be fair, that we did.
Him and Asensio on loan, or Asensio is on his way there as well. Apparently, that's one I would be hijacking is the Asensio one.
Why couldn't we get the new director at Aston Villa, right? I don't know what Elon is doing, man. But I know we tried Project Werner. Didn't work out. So why are we going to try Project Rashford? But Rashford is a quality international, English international. I know they said that about Werner, but I think he just had his mind messed up with United, you know, trying to be the poster boy, then the fans turn on him, but you have a toxic club, you know. So I honestly, Blaine, I know I appreciate the super chat, and I know Dave does and everything, but it's like I don't see it happening. Unless we have something in the spanner behind the works. Too bad Dermo dipped on us because he would have had his source tell us what's up, and maybe he would have had someone working for us. But no, I don't see it as a striker coming in. I would have taken that Jota guy who went back to Celtic. I wanted Jota when he first went away to the Saudi Premier League. I wanted him, Jota. I wanted to test him at this level.
What about Evan Ferguson? He's another one on the that will be floating around deadline day.
Were they after 80 million for him?
Well, no, I think it's more on loan. I think they're looking to get him out on loan.
Again, if we didn't have
buy anyone permanent tomorrow, I think it will be a loan deal.
If we didn't have our youngsters just doing amazing things against, you know, I think we would have been fine. But no, Blaine, I don't see an attacker coming in the next 36 hours, unfortunately. I don't
cheered everyone up today.
I'm just.
You're being realistic. You're being realistic.
Yeah, exactly. Do we come in with a happy clapper, or do we do realistic?
I'm only joking with you. Look, you're being realistic, and you know what? I think majority of Spurs fan base actually thinks like you in terms of heading into tomorrow. Look, for me, deadline day. I don't like deadline day. I'm so used to Tottenham being wrapped up by 6 o'clock, turning off the lights and saving money on electricity, to be quite frank. Drew, just quickly, where are you at on this as well? Do you agree with Donovan? Do you see an attacker, you know, not coming in here deadline day, or do you think Tottenham will get something done? Blaine, also, let me know in the comments. You know, just put it in the comments. Do you think we're going to get something done, Blaine?
Do you know, I'm not sure. I think that if there's something to be done, I genuinely think they will go all out to get it done. I just don't know.
Would have done it by now, though, Splat, right?
Yeah, I just don't know what. Well, I mean, we thought we weren't getting anybody, and we thought that everybody had turned us down, and then all of a sudden, hold me closer, Kevin Danso comes along. So that kind of puts to bed the fact that nobody's doing anything in the background, right? Because you don't just wake up yesterday morning and say, oh, let's call Lens and see if we can get Kevin Danso. Like, surely he was on somebody's list somewhere. So my problem with it all is, again, you're having to balance the players that are potentially coming back. It's such a difficult, it's so difficult, right? I don't want to block the pathway of players coming back. You want to hope that the players coming back are going to come back fit. Then you've got the problem that if the players do come back fit, then are you buying somebody just for the sake of buying somebody? You've got the likes of, you know, like you say, Asensio, who's chosen Villa because Villa have got Champions League football. So there's always that element, right? You've always going to have, if we go in for a player, if another team comes in and that team have got Champions League, the chances are that player's going to Champions League. It just is the way it is. It's just life, right? So that's why we got Danso, because he was going to Wolves, and thankfully we still have more pulling power than Wolves. Right? You
wonder will the signing of Danso actually keep Tottenham up now? You know, right? Send Wolves down. You know, maybe that's why we've done it.
As far as the Garnacho links, I'm really not sure. Like, since the beginning of last season, he's had less output than Brennan Johnson. So I look at that and I wonder, is he really? I'm not taking anything away from him. He's clearly a great player. He's clearly got bags of talent. But in the current situation that we are in, does he come in with the balls big enough to grab people by the scruff of the neck and drag us over the line? And that is my concern, that it's kind of this scattergun approach. And I don't necessarily think it's to appease the fans. I think it's out of necessity, right? Because you know, if it was to appease the fans, we would have been buying players weeks ago. But we were in a situation where we're all agreed we should have been doing this business in December, and we should have pulled the trigger on a couple of players at the beginning of January in order to help us through this rough patch. It didn't happen. Now we're at the end of January. We've bought in Kevin Danso, and I only because probably it was confirmed yesterday that Dragusin's likely to be out for a big chunk of games. If Dragusin had just bruised his knee and he was only out for 24 to 48 hours and he was going to be back again, I don't think we see Kevin Danso come in, to be honest with you, because
No,
you just had VDV come back and you got Romero, who's apparently only 10 days away. So if it genuinely makes us better, and if it's a player that, like Blaine says, I think we need somebody that covers the right wing and the left wing. I don't necessarily know that we need somebody straight down the middle. I think if you've now got Dane Scarlett that can come back and you can throw him on for 10 minutes, I think you need to concentrate on the wings and you concentrate on somebody that's going to be a bit more of a provider. But I just don't quite know at this point. Like, I'd love a Bakayoko.
Yes.
But you're at this point in the window, you're not getting that over the line because he's with a team that is potentially going to, do bits that are bigger than the bits that we're going to do. So, I'd love to see it, but not at the detriment. And I don't want to have to get somebody that you've then got to spend 4 weeks bedding in. What's the point? Do you know what I mean? They've literally got to be ready-made. If they can't come in and play in this system and just hit the ground running, then there's no point because we don't have time to coach somebody for 4 or 5 weeks.
No, I agree with you. I definitely 100% agree with you on that one. Big up, Blaine. Really appreciate the support, my man. Hopefully Florida went well for you and you got what you needed to get out of the trip, my man. We've got Timothy Whitaker says, big up, lads. Let's get a win today. Being a really tough week, he could do with a win to brighten things up. Well, man, hopefully it gets better for you. I hate people that are having not hate people. I hate when people have tough weeks and stuff like that. It's never nice. We've all been through them. It's horrible. So big up, Timothy. Hopefully it gets better for you, my man. Skunk works exactly. Dave Asensio's class. Look, the Rashford one, I was kind of like, do you know what? I don't mind. But when I seen Asensio following up, I was like, that's the exact sort of winger we should have been in for this January if he's on the market. Rimsey85 says, laughing my ass off, Project Werner. That's charitable, Dono, you're too nice. Sir says, maybe Dibbling. Look, I think that's one you could see. A deal wrapped up for Dibbling for the summer, with him going back to Southampton for the rest of the season. Bakayoko by Drew by Blaine or Boniface. Look, I think Boniface is didn't he already turn down a move this January? I think, he wants to stay at Leverkusen, if I'm correct. Johan Bakayoko out of the Dutch league. I really like him. I think he's a real talent off that right-hand side. Very skillful. I really like him. Maybe he's one I would definitely look at if we could get him in. Blaine also says, in my opinion, if we get someone, it's going to be left field. We are obviously trying to get an attacker, having tried Muani and Tell. There's a bit of me thinks with Danso being alone, now we're lining up one more. Look, I definitely think we'll be in the market looking to get one more over the line tomorrow. Sometimes late opportunities come up, but let's wait and see.
Danso might be marked down as a loan, but it's an obligation at the end of the season because he's got a 5.5-year contract.
Yeah. Well, I think 100%. But I think maybe what Blaine is saying is that maybe we haven't spent cash right now, which means in the immediate,
right.
There's still a bit of money in the basket if we want to act tomorrow.
Dude, we got plenty of money. The problem is that we're terrible at spending it.
But that is the big problem as well, But you know what? A part of it is you're chopping and changing managers every 2 years, so you're constantly changing what they want, etc. But look, I do want to say to people tomorrow, I would temper your expectations. Anyone that thinks, waking up tomorrow thinks we're going to get 2-3 players in, forget about it. It's not going to happen. Drew was speaking about it last week. When you look at the squad, in terms of registration for the league and the Europe, you've only really got room for one more player tomorrow. So that's what I would expect to see if we do get one over the line. But I wouldn't expect to wake up and expect us to sign 3 or 4 players. We've got this from Glenn Morrison. Glad we haven't bought recklessly and haven't been selective. Don't need to fill the squad with mediocrity. Definitely keen for another good attacking option. Need to kick on after this injury crisis. And that's exactly where I'm at with it, John. I don't want to bring in a body for the sake of bringing in a body. We've done that with Timo Werner. You've got to match it up with the quality. So for me, that's where I'm at. I also agree with you. I'd rather, if it's quality, fine. If it's not, there's no point, because all you're doing is getting yourself in a position where you're going to try and offload this guy off in 2 years' time, and he's on high wages. So it's long term, it's not beneficial either. And Shikari Shock says, screw Garnacho, he's so overrated. His goals and assists are terrible for someone who was playing regular football. At least Johnson has 11 goals. Well, I think, you're more along the lines of Donovision on that one for sure. Big yourself up. Big up Fazrad Farswad. Good to see you. Big up my favorite challenge, Danso, a left-sided defender. I would encourage everyone to go and watch Jack's breakdown, actually, his tactical analysis. His scout report. Very good, actually. A lot of people seem to have enjoyed it. I think he can play on the left, if I'm correct there, Fazrad Far. I think so. But look, let's keep it moving, guys, because we are about 5 minutes away from the lineups coming out. Just quickly, I wonder, is Tottenham giving us an early prelude here of who's going to start? You look inside the dressing room, Richarlison's jersey is there. You've also got Sonny's. Then you've got Mikey Moore, which I find very, very interesting. A dartboard on the picture there. That must be to keep James Maddison happy. And then we also have Basuma as well. So I wonder, is that a hint on who's going to start? Oh, shit, I didn't have it up. Sorry. A hint on who's going to start. As you can see, Richarlison, Sonny, Mikey Moore, and Yves Basuma. So I wonder, is Tottenham giving us a prelude here? Drew, I do want to ask you, my man, at the start of the season, many fans were willing to sacrifice the league to a large degree. No one expected us to go this far down. But people were saying, mid-table finish and a trophy, I would take that this season. But given the unexpected drop in form, and with Tottenham now sitting 16, just 8 points above the relegation zone, do you think it is time to shift focus and prioritise the league over the cup competitions?
I would be a complete hypocrite if I turned around now and said anything other than I would take 17th and a trophy. And I say that.
I'm just going to turn my camera off. I'm going to wolf a quick sausage roll down.
Yeah. I say that knowing that I'm slightly privileged, because even though obviously I'm clearly English, I live in the middle of America, and I'm fortunate that when I go to work on a Monday morning, I don't get pelters like I used to when I was living in London. And I can remember how that used to make me feel going into the office on a Monday morning, having to listen to all the Chelsea supporters and the United supporters and the Arsenal supporters, and it was absolutely horrific. So I say this knowing that anybody who is in that situation feels unbearable pain for the football team that they love. So I get it. I absolutely do. And I'm lucky that I've trained the two people that care about football at the company that I work for to leave me the fuck alone if there's a bad result. So they understand and they know not to poke the bear, right? So I'm going to caveat my response with that first, because I truly do understand the pain of having to sit opposite an Arsenal supporter who just grins at you and just needles you throughout the week. And I can only imagine that it's especially worse now because of the situation. And then also, I guess I've been slightly Americanized. Like, if this was the NFL, we'd just be bottom of the conference or the bottom of our division. I wouldn't even be worrying about relegation. I'd just be thinking to myself, well, we get first round pick next year and we'll just go again. So I have to caveat all of that, right? So I'm absolutely no, we cannot get relegated. But absolutely, if it's 17th and a cup, I'm not going to complain, because you know what? In a couple of years, all we're going to remember is the cup. It'll be like, oh, remember when we flirted with relegation? Yeah, but do you remember when those 2 bits of silverware ended up on the shelf at the end of the? Do you know that's what? And it could be 3. And do you know what? I get it. It could be none. But
does anyone
else
have a weird feeling we're going to make a cup final
on the side of the fence?
No, we're putting in a double, mate.
I genuinely think we're making 2. And you can call me deluded.
2?
You can happy clap me. Yeah. You can call me deluded. You can call me a happy clapper. I think that the stars are aligning. There is a universe somewhere. There's a universe where our players start to come back And not only do they come back and not break down, but they come back and they're actually somewhat fit. And as we move into these last 2 months of the season, as everybody else starts to get more and more worn out, our players are going to come back and they're going to drop in at just the right time.
Stop it, Drew.
You're going to have VDV's come back. Romero's going to come back in a few days, and you know what that's going to mean? That's going to mean Archie Gray is going to be able to play a 6. And you know, when Archie Gray starts playing a 6 and he starts sourcing in front of that back 4, and then Vicario starts to come back, and then Maddison gets his act together. I'm sorry, guys. I will happy clap till I am blue in the face, but I refuse to sit here and be negative and think that we're not going to get another win. We're not going to win another cup. I'm just not having it. That's not the world that I choose to live in. So
But you know what?
Here I am, deluded bubble. Don't care. Come on, you Spurs.
I absolutely love that. And I love that 125-year anniversary jersey, by the way. It's absolutely quality. But you know what? I don't know why. I just have a sneaky feeling like, you know, all the depression we've suffered in the league, I just have a sneaky feeling we'll get to a cup final. Now, whether we're going to win the cup or not is a different story, you know. But I just have a feeling we will have some bit of joy this season in terms of a cup final. Paddy Harnett says here, David, we are winning the treble, the triple. I am also either a deluded happy clapper or just a thick Irishman. Well, look, if you're a thick Irishman, you would have booked your boat to Spain already, my man, out to Bilbao for the Europa League final. Big up, Paddy Harnett. Good to see you in the house, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well.
Can I just clarify, Dave? Just a couple. I am still sober. Everyone in the chat, I see you, Rav D. Bit early to be drinking. The only thing I'm drinking is coffee and potential success.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Trust me, he's not drinking around like that. I was speaking to him yesterday, and he was sort of in the same mood as
3 months.
Yeah,
3 months.
No, I echo that.
Oh, yeah, actually, by the way, actually, no, I do want to say that. Yeah, look, Drew's a good sport, and you know, I know he's one that can take it. But with Drew, if we cannot mention drink, that would be nice because he is 3 months sober, and I think that's a huge. Nice.
Do you know what? I'm actually loving it. I'm loving it, just like I'm loving Big Angie instead, and through it all.
The lineups are out. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to bring them up here. Let me see if I can actually get them today.
Patrick Dorgu joined Man United, everyone. Do we care? We don't care, do we?
That's a guy that we were chasing. We're supposedly chasing for months, lad.
Oh, wow.
Here we go. It's out. It's out. Let's bring it up. Let's bring it in. So the lineups are out. Just give me one momento, and I will zoom in if I can do that here. No, won't let me. Anyway, here it is, guys. Kinski does start in goals. Pedro Porro at right back, Archie Gray, and Ben Davies at centre back. Van de Ven not in the lineup. Izzy being held back for the Carabao Cup game with Jedi Spectacular at left back. Bissouma, Bentancur, and Kulusevski into the midfield, which means Papa Matasar has dropped out. And up front, off the right-hand side, it is the youngest goal scorer in European football for Tottenham Hotspur, and in terms of England, it is Mikey Moore. More. How do you like it? Up front, it is the big Rich, the return of the pigeon. And off the left, of course, it is Captain Son off a huge game against Elfsborg, where he made their fullback look like a gardener, and he ended up tackling his own player. That's how good Son was on the day. On the bench, it is Brandon Austin, Sergio Reguilon, Young Hardy, Casanova, Papa Matasar, Lucas Bergval, Callum Olasesi, Demola Ajayi, and Dane Scarlett. So that is your lineup for today's game, everybody. I mean, the big talking point, Mikey Moore gets his start away from home. Let's see how he gets on. But no Mickey Van de Ven. Guys, in the comments, get your thoughts on the lineup. Please, I'll bring them up as we go along. I'll cut off my ugly face while these boys are giving their thoughts on it. Donovan, we'll start with you, my man. The lineup, do you think it's good enough to get something out of this game? No Van de Ven on the bench either, which is actually quite concerning. Let me just double check that. No Van de Ven on the bench either.
Wrap him in cotton wool.
Paddy Harnett, please let me know. Please put me out my misery. He better be fit for Liverpool.
He's fine. He's in a sauna somewhere chilling, sipping a matcha, bro. We were wrapping him in cotton wool for the Liverpool game, man. He's gonna roll up to Anfield and show the world the real Dutchman, who the real Flying Dutchman is, right?
Are we concerned that he's not on the bench though, Donovan?
No. He's just protecting his hamstrings, man. The guy's played the first 60 minutes of football in 2 or 3 months, man. He'll be fine. No, I think well, talk of my head here. I definitely don't have a bet on saying we're gonna draw. So no, we're drawing today. It's gonna be a Desmond 2-2. No, I think it's gonna be 3-2 us or Desmond 2-2. It's just too much chaos. Basuma's not the guy. He's just not the guy. He's filling a spot. It depends who plays a 6. It's going to be either Bentancur or Basuma.
Do you think he's going to be better in beside Bentancur though? Because I agree with you that I don't think Basuma's that guy, but I do think Bentancur is. Do you think having him beside him will actually help Basuma out a lot more because he doesn't have to take all that responsibility on?
Well, that's the thing. If Basuma plays a 6 and Bentancur's playing the box to box, then there's going to be moments of the game where Basuma's just going to leave us. But if we have Bentancur playing the 6, he's disciplined. That might free Basuma up to be at almost that box to box free flowing role that drove Conte up the wall, but also got him success at Brighton. We saw Brighton. We saw him arriving late in the box. We saw him dribbling. We know Basuma's got techers, so it's almost like you relinquish him of the responsibility, and the real talent comes out. So hopefully, if he plays in the advanced 8 role, then yeah, maybe. It's going to be crazy watching Davies, Spence, and Gray playing in that back cluster because we've seen Spence come into the middle, we've seen Gray come in the middle, we've seen Davies come in the middle, and we've seen them all switch in the match 30 minutes. So we know that Spence can advance the ball. We know Gray can advance the ball. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that part lines up. I called Moore starting. I thought Mikey Moore was going to start. Kulusevski's just no longer a winger, in my opinion. I think he's better through the middle. He's able to take that challenge. He can pivot with the ball. He's really, really good at turning with the ball, almost Moussa Dembele-like. I think this is Ange saying. I think this is Ange showing what he's going to do against Liverpool, because we do have that cushion, that 1-goal cushion, even though it's not a big cushion, but it's still a cushion where we don't need to score going to Liverpool. So let's run Son into this ground early and try and get that early goal. Hopefully, he has that form from the last Europa League game. And it's going to be a chaotic game. It's going to be end to end. You look for teams that can play anti-Ange ball, and Brentford's right up there, direct in behind, very good on the counter. 2 or 3 passes they're in. So we're going to see Kinski in a new role today. We're going to see him as a sweeper keeper. We're going to see how that goes. Yeah, there's definitely goals in this game, but we're just not defensively solid enough. So I'm going final ramble. Screw it. Let's go 3-2. 3-2 Spurs. We're going to first win away. But it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, it's going to be an even tougher game without Mickey Van der Ven, that's for sure. Big up Holly Hotspur. Hey guys, great to see you, Jai and Dane on the bench again. No, it's absolutely brilliant. I think they deserve that reward. And everybody get over, check out Holly Hotspur's channel as well. Good to see you. So Sniper Games says Bentancur was hopeless against Leicester. What the F are you guys talking about? Total and utter bullshit, guys. Total bias against Biss. Do you know what? Look, I think, both players are divisive to a certain degree, right? You do have people out there that don't rate Bentancur, that, do rate Basuma, and people that don't rate Basuma and do rate Bentancur. Look, for me, what I would say, Soul Sniper Gaming, is I think with Bentancur in there, I think he gives us, I do think genuinely, this is just my opinion, maybe to explain where I'm at with it, that I think he gives us a lot more defensive solidity than Basuma does. But also, I think he's a lot better in terms of on the ball in that number 6 role than Basuma is. Now, what I will say is, I do think Basuma is being held back at Tottenham to a certain degree. He is not a number 6. He's not a guy you can sit there and rely on in that role. Basuma is a guy that should be allowed to go and affect the game going forward. I think he possesses an unbelievable dribbling ability. But that's not really good to you in that number 6 role. And I would like to see him play in one of them number 8 roles a bit further up the pitch and actually see what he can offer before I'm willing to sit here and say, yeah, he's not good enough for Tottenham, move him on in the summer. I would like to see him in that role a bit further up. Soul Sniper going, yeah, work away.
Yeah, so first of all, Soul Sniper, big up. Thanks for watching. What does Jake say? Wah, wah, bro. Like, what do we have? A guy huffing balloons, $70,000 a week, huffing balloons, coming up late on Ange's second practice. coming crashing in the box in the Chelsea game, taking out, I don't know what the hell he's doing, man. And then putting an Instagram story saying, "Oh, don't worry, lads, we're going to see the real Basuma. We'll see the real Basuma. Don't worry, we're going to awaken the real beast." And then in the North London derby, pissing about in front of the touchline, conceding that second goal against Hafen in a much needed game. I will concede he's playing a 6, and so if some miraculously by playing 4 feet farther up the pitch, he unlocks a world-class talent, we'll see. I'm willing to give him this game, but as far as I'm concerned, he's not that 6. He's not that guy. Yeah, and it's if you can't see that Bentancur is miles above Basuma, technically disciplined, the mentality, the hunger, the fight, the passion, the ability to run, the guile he has in the game, the ferocity, the tackles, everything. I mean, I don't have to tell you, man. The eye test. It's the eye test versus stats, right? But I don't have to tell you, man. But no, Basuma's not that guy. I'm sorry.
Well, look, that's Donovan's point of view, Soul Sniper. You've given your point of view, but also, look, to be fair, let us know what you like about Basuma. Maybe there is something that we haven't seen that we're overlooking. Put it in there and let's have a see. Big up, my man, Paddy Harnett. Now, I do trust this bit of information. He says Van de Ven felt something in training, so they are not taking a chance with him in the hope it's nothing serious. Oh, Lord.
No.
Oh, Lord, Paddy, guys.
Don't tell Drew that.
Hopefully it's not serious because we really need him against Liverpool. We will really, really need him against Liverpool, especially with Mo Salah cutting in off that side. You need him to be able to come across and try and cut that out. Look, I think we're all going to sit here, light a candle, pray to the Lord, and hopefully, it works out in our favor. Skunkwork says Twitter is melting. I just hope he hasn't pulled something. The fact that he's felt something is a bit worrying. Bentancur throws a bottle into a crowd and is a dickhead towards. No, look, that's absolutely fair enough. That's
he did do that. He did do that.
Look, that's fair enough. I can understand that. That's more than enough reasons, I suppose. We've got Dark Sun G says, Ajoy and Scarlett are 2 academy on the bench. Come on, you Spursmen. Dark Sun G, I think they fully earned it and fully deserve this. And look, I'd argue, I think they deserve, the last 10, 15 minutes of the game. Look, Richarlison, I'd be surprised if he plays the full 90. I expect him to be pulled off at some point, with a view of resting him against Liverpool or for the Liverpool game. So I think he'll be pulled off with Dane. Scarlett will definitely get minutes today. Joy, not quite so sure. Let's wait and see what happens, though, Dark Sun G. He also says, I think we are prioritising Carabao Cup. Then today is why, in terms of Van de Ven. To a certain degree, do you know what? I'm not quite so sure on that now, Dark Sun G, because he's still playing Kulu. He's still playing Son. I think Van de Ven would have been playing today if he didn't feel something in training. But look, let's wait and see, my man. And he also follows up and says, I hope Danso can play against Liverpool without Van de Ven or with Van de Ven. Look, again, let's wait and see. I think Danso can come in and play against Liverpool if I'm correct. I think he can. I don't think that matters, actually. I think he can play in the Carabao Cup. I think you're correct there. We just hope that Van de Ven's fit now, Dark Sun G, because if he's not, we're going to be in a real world of pain. A real world of pain against Liverpool. And he also says, remember, we have 2 cup games this week. Van de Ven rest, in my opinion. No, you're an absolute 100% on that one. I think that's what Paddy Harnett is saying. Look, they don't want to run the risk with 2 big cup games coming up. They don't want to run the risk. So maybe, it's a good thing. And to be honest with you, as long as it is resting him, I'm more than happy to do that. As long as it's not that, like, he has pulled something. Because if he has, he's going to be out for a lot longer, which is just going to cause us more and more problems. And again, is that why we accelerated the Danso signing? Because there is something else there with Van de Ven that we haven't been told yet. Let's wait and see. Dark,
can I throw something to you, Dave? Because I was a little bit concerned. That we're still sniffing around Disasi, who, to my understanding, is another centre back, right?
Yeah, and there was someone who said that there was reports that we might be looking at bringing in another centre back as well.
So why would you bring in, if you've already brought in Danso to cover for Dragusin, you've got Romero coming back apparently. Why are you sniffing if you really need a forward and you're limited in your squad numbers? Why are you sniffing around another centre back? And this has only come about over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm just throwing it out there.
No, I agree.
Unless something potentially worse has happened to VDV. And I don't want to jinx it, but I'm just saying it's out there, right?
No, it is out there, and that's what sort of Paddy says they were always looking for 2 centre backs, but you know what? Look, that's what sort of concerns me is this. Look, I know they were always going to bring in, or at least they should have always been looking at bringing in 1 sort of defender this window, but 2. I just wonder, have we not been told the full extent of Van de Ven? And look, Romero, Postecoglou said in the pre-match press conference, he's not. They're going to have to take their time with Romero. So it's a tough position to be in. Look, let's just hope we can get over the line today. But Drew, let's get your thoughts on the lineup. Let's get your score prediction, and then we'll end off because I need to go and have a lie down before this watch along now after that Van de Ven news.
I really like Spence being back. I think he's progressed so much recently. I think he's a fantastic player. I really like the midfield. I think it's strong. Well, has the potential to be strong. I think I'm kind of on the fence with Basuma. I do think he has a tendency to be in La La Land sometimes. And this bollocks about you'll see the real me. I mean, I hope so at some point soon. It would be nice. I love the fact that Mikey Moore's there. I wasn't sure because I thought he's played 90 minutes during the week.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure
rest
on,
him.
actually. Because he said in his post-game interview at the celebration, he couldn't wait for the final whistle because he was starting to cramp.
Right, and he was 90+4 when he scored that goal, and he still sped past a couple of players to do it. So I don't know, maybe there's something to be said. My creaky 45-year-old bones had trouble even watching it. So I don't know. He's 17. He's probably got more stamina in him than most of us put together. So I don't know. I like it, man. I think it's nice that Bergvall has been given a rest.
Yeah, he needed it.
I quite like. Do you know? I would really love it if Dane Scarlett. I'm not gonna say. I want comes good. I think there's something there. I think there's something about that kid, and I think in the right environment he could flourish. So I don't know. I've got a sneaking suspicion. It might be a cheeky 2-1 Dane Scarlett with the winner.
Oh, do you know what? It would send Spurs fans crazy if he end up getting the winner today.
How deluded am I, chat? Just on a scale of 1 to 10. How deluded is that? Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Some call it deluded, but I guarantee you someone's running down to the bookies now and putting a $5 on it. Dave Happy with the winner, I can tell you that, and they'll probably be sitting there 800 quid richer tonight. But you know what? I would like to see, Dave Mbappe get minutes off the bench and see what he can offer because, I think he positioned himself well for his goal. He took his goal very well as well. And, when I looked at him the other night, I think he looks a lot more built for the Premier League now than maybe in years gone by. And also, the hold-up play, to play that ball back to Ajayi as well, straight into his path. Brilliant, from Dane Scarlett. So, and I do think he will get minutes. I don't think Richarlison is going to last the full 90 today. Definitely not.
Well, the thing with Dane Scarlett is that every coach, like Conte, whatever you want to say about Nuno, but Mourinho is saying the lad's class, and he has an understudy of Kane. Like all these players that are coming out of their attacking position, they're using Kane as like the benchmark now. And I mean, that's not the worst striker to learn off of Harry Kane. And now he's actually growing into his own body and like his own, he's got a bit more oomph to him. Like you said, Dave, he can ride those tackles. He can like absorb a bit more pressure. Yeah. Let's keep Richarlison fresh too. Like that's another guy you breathe on him wrong. Like when we beat City 4-1 or 4-0 and he pulled his hamstring crossing the ball. Like what's going on, man? And shout out, little backtrack here. Shout out Solus Sniper. Just so you know, I did put a cheeky 10 on Basuma to score today now because after that big ramble of I'm gonna have egg on my face. So anytime goal scorer, use Basuma there. So let's do it, man, because that's how the world works. He's gonna have a worldie now. He's gonna have a goal and assist, and it's gonna be crazy. So
a big shout out in the chat to Mr. DK who says this is sadly a happy clapper channel with deluded guests. Yeah. And I tell you what, mate, you are more than happy to drink up the delusion or not, but we're gonna do it with or without you, man. So it's entirely up to you. Big up. Hope you have a good day.
second of all, I want to clear up something as well about being a happy clapper channel. I mean, I've been on the biggest channels there is in the Spurs community, and I've spoke about the problems with the ownership, my problems with Johan Lang, the lack of quality recruitment at this club. So to sit here and say that I'm a happy clapper is just quite disingenuous. Completely disingenuous, and a narrative that you've probably heard somewhere else. And I've just come in here and repaste without actually having to listen to anything that I've said. In terms of the guests, I mean, that's what makes the world go around. Difference of opinions. I constantly try and get people on with difference of opinions. I'm not one of these where I'm a snowflake and I need to sit in a room, whether it's on the left or the right, and listen to my opinion only. I listen to all opinions and I make up my own opinion. So, look, let's get that narrative, the happy clapper, sorted out right now. That's definitely not true. Just one that you want to paint to maybe make yourself feel better. And by the way, what do you get out of coming out making comments like this? Do you feel better? Honestly, let me know in the comments. Do you feel better now you've got that off your chest? Let me know. And then big up the old lad as well. He's gone 3-1 to the Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up the old lad.
Big up, lad. Big up the old lad. Come on, let's get the job done today. But guys, that's it from us. I want to say a massive thank you to Drew and Donovan. I keep saying it, guys. These guys are up early hours of the morning, 5, 6 a.m., even probably earlier, just to be here to do this every single weekend. So please, guys, make sure you give them a round of applause or a big up in the comment section. Then make sure you pat yourselves on the back at home. Let's go fully happy clapper just for that idiot comment. Make sure you pat yourselves on the back at home for tuning in. Really appreciate every single one of you. Look,
Gosh.
Nothing with you guys out there. If you and ladies, if you're not tuning in, getting in your comments, holding us to account with what we say, getting your opinions in, then none of this would be possible. So thank you very much, everybody. And then to people who have gone the extra mile today, Dark Song G, John Morrison, and Blaine Devlin, guys, really do appreciate the support. Thank you so much. And guys, if anyone does appreciate the show or does appreciate what we're trying to do here, feel free. You can grab a channel membership if that's what you want to do. We do a lot of members-only content. We're trying to figure out what else we can do and fit in around the schedule just to provide a bit more as well, because we do appreciate all of the support and the bang, trying to give you basically as much bang for your buck. But guys, last thing, run them likes up, go and get your sandwiches ready, get the beers out of the fridge. I'll see you back here in half an hour's time. As always, come on, you Spurs. Let's go.
Let's go.
Big up. Come on, you Spurs. Let's go.
Oh, 1 second.
Oh, wait.
I missed this from Dark Song G, and then we will be out. He says Van de Ven is rested based on Michael Bridge and Big Ange. Okay. Well, now I don't need to go for a lie down, Dark Sun G. Now I can go and get a bag of Maltesers and have a sugar rush before the game, my man, instead. So big up, Dark Sun G. Not sure my stomach will thank me, but thank you, my man, for that. It does make me rest a little bit easier. Big up, Dark Sun G. Top man.
Should you have one more rendition, Dave? Hold me close to Kevin Danso. With the highlights even higher. Big up, everybody.
Let's go.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, our lad's still Ange out. Look, you can be Ange out. He's not. Do you know what? He was on board, and Ange has lost him a little bit. But I think Ange will get him back on board. I think so. By the way, get your that glass we got at Christmas, the one we got together. Make sure you get it in the freezer, nice and cold for the game. You get your drink into it. Oh, big up. Everyone's saying great stream. Well, guys, that's it from us.
Big
like
up,
I said,
lads.
see you back
Thanks,
here.
chat.
The box trap we set, it came back empty. Now it's time to set the honey trap. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Come on.